Alrighty, so we are approaching we're in the third week of the lockdown. And by the time I post this, it's probably going to be closer to the start of the fourth. And we've kind of started to settle into the way things are at the moment, and we're getting close to the time where the lockdown's going to end, and we're going to try and figure out what the new normal looks like. Rob and I have been chatting over the last couple of days about small to medium enterprises and what business is going to look like for them. And I really wanted to share some of Rob's insights with you on that, because this is a really fantastic opportunity for the businesses who are going to continue trading, in the new environment. It's a great opportunity for you to assess the way things have always been done, figure out where the holes are in that, and figure out how to strike the new environment more efficiently. And that's Rob. So Rob from Plexus Consulting, that's Rob's bread and butter. So Rob, I wanted you to chat to our small to medium businesses about productivity and efficiency, and moving forward in their best shape.
I'll start with the first part of the question really is productivity. So that we were talking the other day about this, and my passion is reclaiming that term for small medium business owners, because at the moment it's something that certainly pre-COVID it was something that was taken over by the politicians and the planners and the economists, because it means infrastructure, roading, a new rail system between Auckland and Hamilton, all of that. And so we glaze over that, we can't do anything about our productivity. I'm passionate that, yes, productivity means, how can we do that one little bit thing better in their business today so it becomes just a fractionally more efficient tomorrow. So, and it might be just purely rearranging the stock so you can find stock without spending 10 minutes to find the product that you need, or it might be reorganizing your filing system on the computer so you can always find those documents that you need, because that's where we lose a lot of our time. So productivity is something, we can really work hard in the SME world, and certainly this is an awesome opportunity, because this is a time when we've got staff at home and they might not be doing a lot, they might be doing a lot. So, and if they're not doing a lot, one of the big blocks I often get from owners and operations managers is we just don't have time to work on that. Well, luckily we've got time, and so let's use this to our advantage. And that's my message certainly over the past 2 weeks is, okay, we've got past the shock, we've kind of assumed into this new phase of life, and it won't be normal for a long time. So what can we do? So what we can do is start having those conversations with teams about, okay, what part of our business was causing the most frustrations? Let's get on a Zoom call, let's brainstorm, let's write it down, share a document around, and start prioritizing which parts of those businesses were causing the most frustration. And then from there, what can we do about it? And you can, if you can't physically change it, it might be an operating procedure, or it might be just the process around it. At least create a game plan, so when you're physically back in your workplaces, you know exactly what you need to do. So it's having those sometimes courageous conversations. So there'll be a lot of leadership struggling with that and how to set that up. So, but that's what they really can start focusing on, is asking those questions about what were the biggest frustrations in our business. Right, guys, let's brainstorm, let's talk about that, and start creating that picture of, those are the opportunities to work on.
And before you move on, you gave me a really interesting kind of snippet of information about Kiwis and our effort versus our output. So can you give us that, because that kind of took my breath away when you told me that.
Yeah, a couple of figures, and they are out of a few studies around the place, but this is what drives me. This is my passion, and these two figures really drive it. Is in New Zealand, we produce 30% less than the OECD average. So all of our businesses across all the sectors, we produce 30% less than the OECD average. To achieve that, we work 17% longer. So really the nuts and the 101 around that is we work long to have poor result. And that's why we struggle. That's why our prices remain high. That's why we struggle to be competitive in the worldwide market, not just our geography, but the fact our productivity is in the lower quarter of OEC business, the business world. So that's what drives me, is if we can make these little changes every day across 97% of the businesses, which are SMEs, we can flip those numbers around. So this COVID break can be that reset. It won't be the silver bullet, but we can make huge gains about starting to change that momentum.
And at this time, I'm a huge believer that the ones that are sitting back waiting for business as usual are the ones that are going to be left behind. We need to acknowledge the old school way of doing things, and there are strengths in that mentality, but at the same time there are gaping holes, and we need to address that fear of looking at the problems and resolving them and getting the team's buy-in to do that. And it's simple things like you're saying, like just doing what you're currently doing just more efficiently, right up to the big things like automating or putting equipment in to handle the things that have been heavily labour driven or and all the things in between. But it's a great opportunity to step right back and take a pragmatic approach, looking at everything, working on your business instead of in your business at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And there will be owners and leaders out there in the SME world that will need support. And that's why people like yourself, or why I'm there, to help them through that, to guide them. How do you start those conversations when you've never created the environment to do that? That's a tough call. It's easy for me to it's what I do. It's what you said, it's my bread and butter. But even just the fact that you're creating those conversations with your team. So we talk about team engagement, certainly with lean thinking. It's all respecting the people who do the work and getting them to start figuring out and allowing them to figure out the problems, not rather than the owners telling them how it should be done. And if we can change even that momentum, so we're engaging our staff and we're empowering our staff more, just that simple change, which, you build up the momentum and build up that culture and that approach, has been shown to lift productivity by 20%. So we talk about automation, that's great. If businesses can invest in automation and all that, but sometimes it's the process, the human side of the process is what we can get right first. Because even if we automate a bad process, it's just speeding up the errors. It's just mind my language, but it's crap in, crap out faster. So, but if we base the processes around the people and improve the processes first and allow them to do it, you just naturally get a 20% increase in productivity. Pure, and you might not even improve the process yet. And a good way of example, as an example of that is, we all see the person who walks in on Monday not motivated, just really because they're not being asked to use their passion or their skill set, and they're just not engaged in the work, versus the people who love coming to work because they're challenged, they're enthusiastic about the roles that they're doing, they're using the passion. Between those two people, you can see where that 20% increase in productivity comes. So for business owners who might not have done it yet, it might be just starting to ask their team, hey, I don't have the answers, what do you think? And start engaging, starting to get their passion going. You're going to get that change in results without even investing anything else.
Yeah, I mean, those statistics that you've just handed out are, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you spend the time and energy to actually just make a start?
Absolutely, and and with all of that, you're going to get better retention. You're going to create more profitable growth, because one of the mistakes a lot of SME owners get into is to maintain growth. All they do is they just put more resource, and often that's more people. That's our most expensive asset. So even though they're growing as a business, turnover might be increasing, profit margins actually reduce. And to achieve the same profit margins, you can see where there's 17% longer hours kicks in. We just have to grow, work longer, or stay till 8 o'clock at night, or miss the kids' Saturday sport because you're back in the office or back in the workshop. But it doesn't need to be that way. So yeah, it's all about just starting to have those conversations with the team and really encouraging business owners to figure out how, or think about having those conversations. Get your team, if they're sitting on the couch watching Netflix, an hour a day, just having those conversations, starting to think about it and creating a plan. Or get people like myself to come in and help those conversations. We can do a lot of that planning now before the restrictions are taken away, and we can actually physically get back and do the work, because there's no point getting back in the work and getting busy again when we don't have time to fix it.
Yeah, and I understand that your offering is funded as well under the business continuity initiative by the government at the moment.
Yep, and it's something, unfortunately, probably hasn't been publicised a lot, but there are a lot of consultants out there that are available to help business owners go through that planning process. And there are different skill sets out there, like there will be accountants, business advisors with a different skill set to me, and they'll have their different swing on that business continuity plan. But I honestly believe that it might be just going through the process that might help alleviate that stress from a business owner, almost a cathartic exercise, and just to show them that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So it might not be the outcome of the planning. It might be just taking them through and going, hey, there's some support there. You're not alone. This is how you can go about it. And so that they can, take that chaos out of their mind and actually just get, right, hey, I've got a bit of calm planning going on here. We could be okay. And so, so sometimes it's not the end result, it's the process that's most important. Just even knowing that there's support out there.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, I'm going to leave some contact information for Rob and for Plexus, so that if you want to continue the conversation and expand on, how it was appropriate for your business, then you can go directly through to Rob. But otherwise, I appreciate you taking time. Today's Easter Friday. I've got problems out of this home life to chat to me. So thank you for making the time to do this.
No, thank you. No, it's been fun. And definitely encourage people to talk either to myself or other business advisors, even if it is just absolutely there to take that support, increase their circle of support and go through that process. And just really start turning this into a positive and a chance to change rather than sit back and be passive.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. No, it's a good time, and have a good Easter.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.